And we are live. We'll get started in a few minutes, but I want to jam a little bit for you first, like just for a couple seconds here. Oh, my volume's not on. Hold on. Let's try this. There we go. That's my first resolution, to make sure my volume is on before I start playing in front of the camera. Now, I'm going to talk about your resolutions, guys, in a few minutes, so let's just do a quick jam. That's me. All right, guys, so I wanted to come on here real quick and first of all wish all of you a happy new year. My cable's all turned around here. Hold on, guys. I'm a little unorganized today. It's another resolution. There we go. All right, I'm going to pull this in a little bit closer so we can hang out closer here. So, yeah, the one thing, well, many things I want to talk to you guys about today in this video. First of all, again, Happy New Year, guys. Happy 2020. I'm in the U.S., so we're not quite there yet. I'm filming this live about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I know in many parts of the world, this is already the new year, 2020. So all of you, I've got family and friends, many friends in Thailand. I know I got some really close people there in Australia. So happy new year to all of you guys in other parts of the world. Germany, I know this Germany, it's 2021 there as well. But I want to come on here and talk about something that we talk about every year, and that's resolutions, New Year's resolutions. And the thing is, I'm not really a big fan of resolutions because I kind of feel like, well, if you need to make a change, just make that change. Make it today or yesterday. However, I've kind of changed my perspective on New Year's resolutions over the years. I think sometimes we go against things just because they're cliche, and that's kind of what I did for many years. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do New Year's resolutions because you should just make those changes when you need to make them, right? But now I'm kind of rethinking that. I'm like, okay, yes, you should do that if you see something that you should change in your life or whatever it is. Go ahead and make that change, or at least start taking steps towards that. Don't wait till the new year to do that. However, it is a new year, so this is a great time to reflect back on 2019 and kind of like see our accomplishments. What things did we do right? I always start with that. What did I do right in 2019? Looking back, it's like I actually released a new album. That was kind of a huge milestone because it was my first album with vocals, first album with a 7-string guitar, and first album I actually hired someone, a studio drummer, to play drums. So that was cool. But then I also, after you look at your successes, then look at some of the areas. I don't want to say failures. I mean, failure's okay. Failing is okay for one. Okay, if you fail, that's not a bad thing. That just means that you took a step out, and it didn't work out the way you wanted it to. You think you should have. So you learn from that. So failure is not necessarily a bad thing, unless it's just something stupid that you did. Okay, that's a different thing. But if you're going for something, right, regardless of what it is, whether it be in music or writing or your business or whatever, if you're stepping out there and going for something and you fall flat on your face, that's okay. Because before any of us become successful at anything, you're going to fail a few times. Thinking about, a child, when you learn how to walk, you probably like busted your ass or your face, or both, not at the same time, but it'd be weird. Anyway, so you probably busted, right, a few times, several times before you, but you kept trying, you learn from those failures, and none of us remember that, of course, but you eventually start walking. So, we're kind of reflecting on our accomplishments and our failures. Um, I've got like a little list I wanted to share with you guys today, and this video is really about you. I'm going to share some of the things I want to change this next coming year, but I'm going to turn it around so that you can relate to that. And if you want to leave a comment here, we are live right now, so thanks for joining, everyone. Um, feel free to comment at any time. I can read them up here. It'll be small, so I have to go like this, but I don't have my glasses, but I don't wear glasses. All right. So number one, the one thing I want us all to try to do this year, 2020, is just try some new things. Kind of like branch out and try some new things. I'll give you an example, and it doesn't have to be anything major. Here's the cool thing about this little resolution here, trying new things. It can be something as simple as changing your guitar pick. Now I'm using this as an analogy here, but I used to use, well, I still use these picks. And I did like a Facebook video on this a couple of days ago, maybe it was yesterday. These are like really thin picks. So this is a .60, this is a .73 or 8 or something like that. And I think on the Facebook video, I like threw my picks at the screen like this. That didn't knock my camera down. I'm like, I'm not gonna use those anymore. I probably will still use them, but I had started using a thicker pick. This is a heavy pick. I guess that's what they mean by heavy metal. That was a bad pun. But this isn't just you're going like from one extreme to the next. Just a heavier pick, and I actually found that using a heavier pick was a little bit better for me, and I discovered that at my friend Brian's house. I was jamming through his really awesome EVH 5153, the EL34, and I was playing through that, and I don't think I had my pick with me or something, so I was using one of his, and it was heavier. I'm like, well, I like this. I'm gonna try this. So what that means to you is, trying new things, it doesn't have to be something like this far out there. Just like switch some things up a little bit and try new things and see if that works, because a lot of times we get stuck in our routines. Trust me, I'm like in my mid-40s now. I shouldn't admit that. But we get really stuck in our ways, and especially as you get older, like, wow, you really get set in your ways. You're like, okay, well, that's the way I've always done it, so that's the right way, and that's what I'm going to do. Well, that just sounds like a stupid, stubborn, old fart mentality. And I'm not going to have that. I don't care if I'm 44, I think I'm 44, yeah, or 90. I don't ever want to have that dumbass mentality to where I'm afraid to make a change. Make changes this year, guys. Try new things. So that's number one. I'm also going to be trying some new strings this year. So, hey, I see Dean on there, dude. Thank you, Dean. And I got your message on Facebook. You posted your picks, and that was awesome. So I'm definitely gonna try that, dude. Thank you. Number two, this kind of correlates what we just talked about, and this is something I really need to push myself, and so I'm gonna push you guys as well. If I have to do it, so do you. Let's get out of our comfort zone. Like, seriously, get the hell out of your comfort zone. If you're comfortable with what you're doing right now, push yourself to that next level to where it's uncomfortable. And I need to do more of that. And I experienced that a little bit this year. You guys know I've been a studio musician for the past, really professionally since 2013. And it's mainly, I say professionally lightly, because this is really working in the studio on my own albums. But over the past, let's say 2-3 years, I've actually recorded tracks for some other albums, and I'll be sharing those with you, earlier this year, or next year, 2020, whatever. We're kind of in that weird point, because U.S. it's still 2019, and in many parts of the world it's 2020. Anyway, so I'll be sharing more of that. But I've been in the studio so long, and this is the point that I was going to make here, that I actually had a chance to play out live a couple of months ago, and I did put a clip here on YouTube. And I got out there and did it, and I hadn't played live in so long, so that was, even though I played live a lot back in my days, and I love it, and I miss it so much, but, just going out there playing live, that was kind of out of my comfort zone for the past few years here. So I am going to make a point to get out there and play live every chance that I can. Even though I'm kind of a one-man show here in the studio, I think that night I just played some acoustic, some 80s covers on acoustic. I don't care what it is. So, whatever it is that you can do to push yourself out of that comfort zone, it doesn't have to be ideal. And here's what I mean by that. I could have just said, well, I'm not going to play live unless I play my own music, and it's just me writing and playing my music in the studio, so I don't have a band. That's many excuses I could have used right there. But I said, no, I'm not going to use that excuse. I'm just going to play something. I don't care what it is. So my note to you guys, my encouragement to you is get out there, man. You know, whatever it is that you're doing. I know some of you, most of you play guitar on here, you know, and maybe all of you aren't aspiring to be, you know, out there playing out. That's okay. That's totally okay. Some of you, it's just a hobby. It's a really cool outlet for you, and that's an awesome thing to have. So you don't have to want to play guitar professionally, and I encourage that if you do. But what I'm saying is it could be anything, even if it's not guitar or playing out. It could be anything. It could be in your business. It could be at your job. Maybe you go to work every day and you're like, you know, I'm kind of tired of being in this mediocre position. Well, you know what? Get out there and go talk to your boss and start telling them, you know what? I want to present more. Write something up here. I want to present this to an audience. Let me do that. Or here, I want to take on this extra project here. I want to lead this. You know what I mean? So step out of your comfort zone, because that's the only way we grow, guys. So that's the second thing. So number one, we're going to try new things this year. Some new things. And number two, we're getting out of our comfort zone. Now, number three, this is going to sound real stupid, guys, but this is like a really dumb tick that I'm going to get a little personal here with you guys tonight or today. This is like a little tick that I've had over the past, for a long time, but this year it's been worse. I tend to bite my nails, like, you know, the skin between like your fingernail and that hard skin right there. I know it's kind of gross. I don't want to show you guys this, but whatever. You probably can't see it anyway. But I tend to just bite that skin, and then I'll bite even more my finger, and it's like, am I like trying to self-destruct, like Inspector Gadget? You know, it's just a horrible habit. It's a nasty habit too. Because like if you go open the bathroom door and then you're like biting your nails, that's pretty freaking gross. I don't do that, but it's something I want to stop. It's one of those, and again, I'm kind of getting personal here with you guys. It's one of those tics that I have, and I like for my screen to show back here. It's one of those things that I kind of chalk it up. Well, no, I know it is. I chalk it up to anxiety, and I know we talk about you know, anxiety and a lot of different disorders that people have. I don't consider myself having an anxiety disorder, but I know that's what it's from. You know, I am, and I don't want to make this too much about me right now, but I'll just use me as an example. I'm running basically two businesses right now. I do a lot with my music, YouTube. I'm writing and recording music. I'm also blogging content on my jasonstalworth.com website, and I run all the social media for my music. You know, I do everything for it, and I have to handle the marketing and advertising, promotion, and all that, because I have to do that. That's how I make money. So, like, you know, if I don't promote my stuff and you know, people aren't buying, well, I might miss my next meal, and what a shame that would be. Or I wouldn't be able to buy beer anymore. That would be a shame. Anyway, so I run that shop, but most of you know I also own a website called themuscleprogram.com, which is a workout blog, and it's where I help people build muscle, you know, just through different programs I put out there and such. So that's like another business in itself. And you know, lately I've for the past, well, like forever, I've had a full-time job on top of that. So, and I think one of the reason why that habit's gotten worse this year, because I knew I would be leaving my corporate job, which I'll be leaving that corporate job at the end of January, and I'm going to be just out there doing my thing, with both of those things, full time. And I'll be really transparent with you guys. Like, I'm ready, because I have to get away from corporate America. I can't stomach it anymore. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's great for some people, but I can't do it anymore. I just can't. And I have to take this up. I have an opportunity to basically walk away with a very small package. You know, my job is being cut. So instead of me trying to stay there and find another job, I decided to raise my hand and just give me the package and I'll go away. So that's going to give me, you know, a few months to really just focus 100% on my business, my music business, my websites, and everything that I do. So that being said, I've had a little anxiety, so I bite my nails. So I want to, you know, you don't have to tell me your little tics that you have, but I think a lot of you, I now saw a comment up there too. Hey guys, I think a lot of you do have little tics from time to time that you have. So my challenge to us is, when you find yourself doing something that you don't want to do, and that could be a little tick like biting your nails, like what I'm talking about. It could be maybe you drink too much, or maybe you do this when you get stressed out, maybe you get too pissed off, or whatever it is. I want us to be mindful to stop ourselves right then, because we can control that. I'm going to tell you that right now. Many people will disagree with me. I know you guys won't, because you love me and I love you, but no, you guys, we have control over that. In the moment you say that you don't have control, well, guess what? You don't have control. But you have control over your behavior and the things that you do. So when you find yourself doing that, immediately stop. Because if you don't do it then yeah, you're going to keep on, and it's going to get worse and worse. But immediately stop. And this is the second part of this. Ask yourself, I know I'm belaboring this, ask yourself though, why am I doing this? When I go to bite my nails, like I did that today, I'm like, okay, why the hell am I doing this? Why am I doing this? What am I stressed out about? What am I anxious about? And it was that I was writing the blog post, and I'm like, okay, just stop what you're doing. If you need to walk away for a little bit and come back, or if you need to just say, you know what, I just need to focus on what I'm doing. So I want to challenge us all, if you have those little ticks, to stop that. So, okay, moving on. I spent a lot of time on that point, but I think that's important. Like I said, I think a lot of us deal with anxiety. Look, it's a fast-paced world these days, guys. It's really, and it's real easy to get stressed out. We have to hustle. Again, I'm hustling 2 different gigs right now, which I love. I love what I do. I love being on here with you guys. So this is cool. All right, so moving on. 1, 2, 3. I have to write stuff down because I will forget. That's one of those things. Like when you get a certain age, like memory is tough, man. All right, so another thing I really want us to start doing, want us all to start doing, is I want all of us to focus more on what we're doing at that moment. Okay. Now, most people would start talking about your work, your business, or even playing guitar, because we're all guitar players and musicians, right? Most of us are. But I'm gonna say, I'm gonna take a different perspective on this. If you're spending time with your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, or your friends or whatever, be there in that moment, guys. Focus on that. Okay, that's the most important. Your people that you love around you. That's the most important thing in your life. So focus. Have zero, like, not zero focus, but have 100% focus on what you're doing at that time. Now, let's transfer that to the things that that you're passionate about, you're pursuing, whether it's your work, your business, your music, or whatever. And most of your guitar players, so let's throw that. When you're playing guitar, okay, this is an important resolution for us, guys. When you're playing guitar, focus on nothing but what you're doing at that time. Because here's the thing. And this is why a lot of us don't get better, myself included. There's a lot of techniques and things I want to get better at on guitar. I've been playing for a long time, and it's been my life. I spent a lot of time doing this, so I am at the level I'm at because of that. But there's certain techniques I struggle with at times, just because I don't spend enough, not that I don't spend enough time with it, but I don't spend enough focused time. There's a difference. So when you sit down to play guitar, use this as an example, turn off the internet, throw your phone somewhere else, not in the toilet, don't do that. If you do that, you can put it in a bag of rice and it dries it out. Never thought of that. You don't want to eat that rice, though. Anyway, so, seriously, focus on what you're doing. Get rid of everything else. Don't get rid of your significant other, but just let your significant other know that, hey, babe, I'm going to be in my room for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or however much time you can dedicate to that. And, I need this time to focus on what I'm doing right now. So just please don't disturb me. Don't even have your phone in the room when you're playing guitar, when you're practicing, okay? Don't even have it in there. Or if you have to have it, if you're like filming yourself or something, put the ringer thing on silent so you cannot be disturbed. But zero in and focus. That's a big thing. It's a big resolution for all of us, not just me, and not just for you, for all of us. We need to focus on what we're doing. That's how you become successful, though, in anything. The elite people of the world-class performers, whether they're athletes or musicians. Joe Satriani, I got his book over here somewhere, but I remember reading that, and that was an awesome memoir. It was an awesome autobiography, because he talks a lot. Most rock stars talk about how they're like screwed up on drugs and trying to find blow and all this crap. But Joe actually talks in his book. What is the name of that book? It's called Strange Beautiful Music. That's a really solid book. He talks about his passion for guitar. He talks all about that, So, and that's because he spent a lot of time with his guitar, a lot of focused time, and that's why he's at the level he's at. So focus, guys. That's our big thing. Next, this is kind of a weird thing here, guys. Who works out? I know most of you go to the gym, work out. You don't have to be like a pro bodybuilder, powerlifter, or whatever. But I know a lot of you do work out, because I used to do workout videos on this channel a long time ago, and I might do something else like some metal and weights later down the road. I don't know yet. But anyway, so I came up with this the other day. Full range of motion. This is another resolution that I want us all to think about, and I'm gonna relate it to everyday life here. But in the gym, this is something I've been guilty of. You're learning from my failures, but I've been guilty of not half-assing it, but kind of half-repping it. Sometimes on my reps, I would do videos of myself for my other project, for the muscleprogram.com, and I would notice, I'm like, well, crap, I can't use that video because my range of motion sucks, man. It's like I thought I was going all the way, but I was only, I was missing it by an inch or however much. The full range of motion is like, let's say you're doing a bench press, for example. You're coming all the way down to your chest. That bar is right here, and then you're going all the way, out, right? Yeah, it's like locking out. I'm not going to get into the semantics of lifting weights here, but you guys know what I mean. Another good example, if you go to the gym, how many guys do you see load up the leg press machine with all these weights? Most of those guys have skinny legs, by the way, because they're not doing it right. But you see them load up, but look how far down they go and push back up. It is nowhere near full range of motion. So now, how does this relate to you in life? Well, it means when you start something. All right, when you decide to start something, because this is where a lot of people, myself included, have failed. When you start something, think full range of motion. Full range of motion. Follow through on that thing all the way, guys. Right? If you start something, if like say you're writing, writing a book or letter or blog post or whatever you're doing, when you start that thing, be committed to that thing. When you have that idea and you start getting that idea out, be committed to that full range of motion. See it through, guys, because way too many of us, way too many times, we start something, we'll start 100 things, and then we'll get like maybe a quarter of the way through, not even that, and then we stop. We don't use that full range of motion, so guess what? We don't get that full effect of that movement. If you do a weight training movement and you don't do the full range of motion, you're cheating yourself of muscle growth, okay? So the same thing in life, when you're doing something, if you don't use full range of motion, you're kind of cheating yourself of getting that full reward at the end. And actually in life, if you don't see it all the way through, you won't get any reward. You will have just wasted time. So that was kind of a thing I thought of the other day at the gym when I was looking at some of the videos. I was like, man, this exercise I did sucks because I didn't use full range of motion. People are going to slam me for sure on that one, because I put stuff out there for the muscleprogram.com as well, to try to help people. That's what that site's geared towards. All right, so we got through that. There was one more thing I want to talk to you guys about on here as well. One of the things I'm going to do. Okay, this is the last thing. This is the last thing I want to share with you guys. I've got something else too after I do this last point. I got something else that I want to cover here. Something is coming out tomorrow that's going to be real cool. So I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. And actually, I've got another something that's going to come out in a few days. That's going to be cool for you too. But the last point I wanted to talk about is don't stress out so much. This is, and this kind of like correlates to a few things we already talked about. What did we talk about? We talked about, trying new things, getting out of your comfort zone. The nail biting, I talked about that. I think that was number 3. But, don't stress out so much. And one of the ways to not stress out so much is kind of to adapt the thing we just talked about, focusing on that one thing. Stress often comes from just really having too much on your plate, and I'm not talking about food, because that's a good thing. It's really not. Anyway, so in some cases it is. I know most of you are going to go on some kind of diet here in the next few months, and I can actually talk more about that down the road too. But don't stress out over small things. Don't stress out so much over the small things in life. A lot of times we run these scenarios in our heads. And our scenario that's going in our head, the outcome of that is much worse than what it's actually going to be. And one of the things that I'm trying to practice more, 2 things. I'm going to 2 tips here. As far as not stressing out, Um, for one, is choose one thing to work on at a time. That's one thing, right? Choose that one thing to work on, and make sure it's a big thing. Make sure, meaning it's impactful, because a lot of times in our work and even in guitar playing, we know we need to do this right here, right? This big thing. This is our goal, but we'll dabble around on all this stuff around it that doesn't quite get us here, and we'll spend time, and then you're done, and you feel real good about it. You're like, man, I've been working really hard, and I did this a lot in 2019, guys. I did this a lot. I worked a lot on things and spent a lot of time on things that didn't render that grand result, because I didn't spend time on that grand thing that I should have been working on. I was doing all this other little stuff, because that busy work, okay, that's what it is, busy work. That busy work makes us feel like we're being productive. But then you look at the result and you're like, I didn't do a damn thing. You're like, there was no result, or very little result, you know? So focus on that one thing, forget about all the small stuff, and make sure that one thing you're focusing on is geared to the result that you want. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, another thing, and that will greatly reduce your stress, guys. Another thing, guys, is I can't talk. Exercise. I've only had 3 of these. No, 1 of these. Yeah, 1. I think, maybe 2. Anyway, so exercise and do yoga. Seriously, I'm dead serious about that. My workout schedule now is, anywhere from 5 to 6 days a week. I'm training with weights. And I'll throw something out there, because I kind of want to do this. I'll probably throw a blog post out there on jasonstallworth.com, and I'll put my entire workout program out there that I'm going to be doing in 2020, and that will help you guys. So I'll try to get that out here soon. So that's just it. Exercise and do some sort of yoga. If you can do some sort of stretching or yoga or something like that every day for 10 minutes. Another thing is breathing. Breathing will help reduce stress. Breathing in, taking a few seconds to breathe in, holding it for a few seconds, and then breathing out, right? So that helps. Craig, you're absolutely right. You just posted that beer helps. Beer helps reduce the stress. I do love craft beer. All right, guys, so now this is what I want to tell you. I'm done with the resolutions, and feel free to post your resolutions on the video here. There's 2 things coming out, like, real soon that we're doing new here. Well, it's not really new. I just did a collaboration with Ken Candelas. Ken Candelas, he is based out of New York, and he actually does some freelance work. I think it's for Good Morning America, and he's like a studio engineer, and a lot of experience, and just, he's great at his craft. And we met through a class that we're taking for music about a year ago for promoting our music, and actually got to record guitar tracks for his band Homeric. Anyway, so tomorrow I'm going to be releasing a full-blown, this is how to make your own pro recording studio at home. Now, this isn't going to be one of those budget-friendly videos. It's not going to be one of those, hey, you can get your studio for under $1,000 or whatever. We're going to, Ken goes pretty deep, and I'm just going to tell you guys, Ken is way more knowledgeable than I am. What we did, we had this back and forth. So I recorded my parts, and basically what I'm doing in the video, I'm kind of telling you guys this in advance, and you'll see it tomorrow. You'll see the whole thing. It's like 45 minutes long, but it's going to be worth every second to watch this video. I'm going to post it tomorrow morning. I know it's New Year's Day, and a lot of you will be sleeping in, By the way, if you're drinking tonight, don't drive. I'm going to say this again. And after every 2 drinks, have a glass of water. You won't have a hangover. Anyway, so tomorrow morning, I'm going to post it tomorrow morning, U.S. morning time, whatever time that is, and it's going to be out there. So anyway, he's going to go through. I go through my studio, like I recorded my parts. Here's what I got, and I wanted Ken to share what he has, and why basically what I have is crap and his is better. Mine's not crap, but compared to what he has and what he's going to show you guys tomorrow, that you're going to be blown away. Like, wow, So that's coming up tomorrow. Again, it's like a 45-minute video. I think the title of it, just look on my channel tomorrow. You'll see it. You guys will get the notification. Make sure you're subscribed. Now, secondly, I have Metal and Beer. I have Metal and Beer episode number 50 coming up soon. I don't really want to tell you what this video is going to be about. I'm not going to have a guitar lesson in this specific episode. A lot of times my Metal and Beer videos, actually I haven't put one out in a while. Going to be changing the format a little bit, for that series, in 2020. And of course, this video, the Metal and Beer episode 50, will be posted. I'm probably going to post it on Friday. I'll probably put it out there like Friday morning, and you guys can see that. But I'm going to talk about some really interesting things about beer and craft beer, and I'm gonna share some like kind of some personal stuff with you guys in that video, but some extremely helpful stuff for you guys as well. So that's coming up. So the home recording studio, the full-blown home recording studio, pro studio setup, if you're interested in that, which I know most of you guys are, that's going to be tomorrow. And even if you don't like, I mean, Ken's got a lot of great advice, almost an overload of advice. So I'm having to go back and listen to his parts and write stuff down. And I'll probably do a blog post on that as well, so you guys have all that information in two places. And that's tomorrow. And again, Metal and Beer episode number 50, which is going to be very epic. That's going to come out Friday. So guys, I hope you have an awesome New Year. And those of you who have not celebrated it yet, please be safe tonight. If you're drinking, just use Uber or get a friend to drive you home or whatever. You know, be careful out there. You know, and again, after every 2, maybe 3 drinks, drink your glass of water. That should cure the hangover problem. But guys, have an awesome New Year. We will talk more soon. And as always, keep it metal.